What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host here, Dano, giving you the best content that you're going to find on the internet. I promise, if you stay for 10 minutes, you're going to stay for the entire hour because we have Roberta Bassin here, who's going to share with us her incredible journey about everything that's happened in her personal life and her professional life as an actress, and also is going to be telling us all about her one-woman play about Amelia Earhart and everything that goes in that story as well. So it's going to be a great episode packed with a lot of content. And I hope you have your popcorn and you're snuggled up really well because it's time for another episode. Roberta, what do you have to say to everybody before we get started today?
Well, first I want to say thank you, Dano, for inviting me to your fabulous podcast. I've been excited all day about being on the show. And I really, really believe in your philosophy. We are of one mind. Positivity in yourself, looking at the world and your career. You can change the world. And if you put out positivity, it comes back to you. And if we all did that, the world would be a better place.
I love that. See, and I knew that when I was doing my research on you that this would just be such a great and wonderful connection and a really, really great guest for the embodiment of what positivity is and welcoming you to be a part of the Positivity Posse, which is everybody that's watching right now, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We really do appreciate you coming in, all 60,000 strong of you every single month. So thank you so much, Roberta, for being here, and thank you to my Positivity Posse for being here as well. So without further ado, it's time to get started with Weekly Dose of Dano TV so we can jump into Roberta Bassin's story. And thank you all for being here. Thank you, Roberta, as well. Let's get right into it. Let's get it, everybody. It is time for some more great content. Every week here, Thursdays at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, we dive deep into the lives and the journeys and personal successes and failures and everything in between with our guests. And today we have Roberta, and I'm telling you, just doing, our due diligence on her story and her passion and her creativity, this is going to be a really great episode as well, just as all the other ones are. But, every person that comes on has that unique perspective that we all need in order to learn a little bit more about ourselves and to learn more what it takes to be successful and to really dive deep in what we have come onto this earth to do, which is to really follow our passions and our dreams. And it is possible, like I said, learning from all of our guests, learning from me, and learning a little bit more about yourself as well along the way. So before we bring Roberta onto the show, we have to, share a little bit of us time with me and the Positivity Posse, just to update you guys about some of the things that's going on. And maybe you want to let me know about something that's going on in your life as well. And if you do, just make sure you are commenting from Facebook or YouTube, because that is where we can receive more of the comments. And I can actually display your comments on the show, just like I'm doing right here with Jeanette, dropping the hashtag Positivity Posse. You guys know what to do. Thank you so much for coming on. And, every week, really, Jeanette is really in. And everybody else that I don't see or I do see, I welcome you. I appreciate you. And this wouldn't be possible without you as well. So tomorrow, there's just been so many great things that it's hard to really pinpoint all the things that I want to share with you. But two of the major things that have happened one has happened and one is going to happen. So I want to share that with you. Number one, as you know, I'm the co-founder of the Power of Choices, and yesterday we had, an instruction or leadership training or seminar really about what it takes to be a great leader. And man, when I tell you, it was very fun working with these kids. telling them what it takes to be a true leader. It was really a great experience. And to everybody out there, or maybe you're in the younger audience and you're actually watching the show, please be nice to your teachers, man. I know when I had to deal, it was about close to 40 kids that we were doing the seminar and the workshop with, and trying to really get them all to kind of focus and listen up. It was really a great thing to do. And I could only imagine doing that every day. Being off on the weekends and holidays, but being a school teacher, you guys have my heart. And to all of my school teachers out there, or maybe there's one that I've had before, it might have been a second grader, who knows? If I ever acted up, please, accept my apology, because I know what it feels like now to be on the other side of that. And it's just such a great and wonderful feeling just to be able to give back to the next generation, because that's what it's all about, right? When you come here, you live your life, but what legacy are you leaving behind? And I know Roberta, she's going to really talk about her time as a school teacher as well, because that was one of the things that has led to such a great and rewarding life. But also, it's really important that we leave that next generation with the golden nuggets that we've learned, so that we can leave this place, which is planet Earth, just at such a greater place than when we found it in, sharing that love, sharing that positivity and everything, and that support too. Because I know support is such a big issue nowadays that people may not feel that they have. But just make sure that you are doing the research if there are programs that you need to find or people that you need to discover, because there are so many places to get that support. And here being one of them on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So that's the first one. And tomorrow I'm going, actually all weekend, it's a 3-day event. It's called Gaze in Space. I had Dan Devey on before. This was about last year to share this was about 2 years ago, to share about his inclusivity diversion in the multimedia industry, which is movies and everything that revolves around media. So I'm actually going to be the MC for his event for all weekend, and I'm just really excited. So stay tuned and be prepared to see the updates, what's going on in real time as we're going through this event. The summit is absolutely incredible. I've been to these events before, and it really is just a place of love and inclusion, and just being just well received and well respected from whatever walk of life that you come from as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because there's a lot that's going on, and I just really love when we have this time together. And please, if there's something that you want to share that's been going on in your life as well, don't be afraid to share it, comment it, and we will address it a little bit later on in the episode, because we have to talk about Roberta's just legendary experience. And yes, I'm calling it legendary because she has accomplished so many things. And if I were to try to tell you within 2 minutes everything that I've done, it just wouldn't even be touching the surface, and it would just be doing an injustice to everything that she has done. So she's going to come on, share all about her experiences, and I'm just very excited for this. This is going to be a great, great episode. So just like all the other ones are, but this one is going to have that special twist to it. So I hope you got, you cleaned your ears, you got your pencils and pens ready, because it's time to bring Roberta onto the show. Roberta, what are you doing back there? Stop helping the world. It's time to come onto the show.
Hi.
Welcome, Roberta. Thank you so much for being here with your lovely smile and your lovely energy and your spirit. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And I just want to say that, I've been in the show business aspect for a long time, and it never gets old. I am excited for every gig, every class, every reading. And so it's always like it's the first time. And that's how I feel today. I'm excited to meet you through the internet and all of your positivity, posse people and everybody. So yeah, I'm just excited. And I love your music, because dance is a big part of my life. I can barely sit still in the chair.
Yeah, I saw you back there dancing and grooving, and I was like, all right, I got to speed this up, because we got to bring her onto the show, because I see you're about to burst just with all that love and energy and great positivity. So let's get started, because I know there's so many different places that we can get started with your such really a long career and successful career. But one of the things, I'm going to be honest, when I first started doing my research about you, is the Amelia Earhart play. It is a one-woman play. And I actually don't even know what that fully means, because do you have help or do you not help? So now's your time to share, and please let us all know, what is the Amelia Earhart one-woman play experience?
Okay. So I wrote a full-length play on Amelia Earhart, who was the first woman to cross the Atlantic as a passenger in 1928. She then in 1932 she crossed many oceans, and she crossed the Atlantic by herself solo, and she became one of the most famous people in the world. And to this day, she is her message just resonates. And I do shows all over the in different venues in different places, and young and old still know about her. They are mesmerized by her, and her message is the same. Her message was, if you want to do something, you should do it. Nothing should get in your way. Passion. She had a passion for flight. She didn't know she had it. She went up on a little flight. Her father paid $5. She in Long Beach. She took a flight. She thought, if she has to fly, she'd die if she didn't. And then she was just, I believe, 21 years old. But anyway, so that's the play that I wrote, is about her life. And I'm Amelia Earhart. And it was a full-length play, and then I had put it away, and I had written it, and I put it away, and then 10 years later, believe it or not, Women in Theater was looking for historical plays for Women's History Month. I submitted it. They loved it. They gave me a venue, which was the Museum of Flying in Santa Monica, and I performed it there for a month. And then people just start hiring me all over the place. And to this day, I hate to tell you, but that was in 1999.
Wow.
And yeah, so you weren't born. Well, maybe you were just born. I'm not.
I was 3 years old. Yeah, when that was happening.
Maybe, And so what my goal with that is to educate people about her, but also her message, the idea of going for your passion. Mm-hmm. She said, if she wants to do it, she's going to do it. And also to entertain, but also to motivate people, and your passion doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be career. It can be just small things. It's what you want to do in your life, or what you feel is missing. Because like I said before, I do not feel that you can be happy in life if you do not follow your passion. And for some reason, I am just fascinated by her. And as I grow older and do the play, I was young when I started it. I have a different perspective of her words and the history and what happened. And then I guess I'll plug my book. And then a few years later, everybody was asking me to write a book. So the book.
Yeah, well, Roberta, we have a whole special segment dedicated to your book, and we definitely will get to that a little bit later. But when it comes to this play, there's so many things that we need to talk about. So number one, which is kind of the one that I'm really want to know the most, is what kind of parallels do you have between yourself and your own personal journey with Amelia Earhart and her journey?
Okay, well, Amelia Earhart was, especially when she became so famous, she was courageous. She spoke out on women's issues, but she was very, very diplomatic when she did that. Mm-hmm. And she fought for human rights in general. And all those are passions of mine. Mm-hmm. And the way she did it was, she had a calmness about her, and people accepted her, and she broke through barriers. She broke the ceiling, the glass ceilings. She broke barriers, and she was trying to. She said, for her area, which was flight, a pilot is a pilot. In other words, you don't have to be a man or a woman. It doesn't matter to sit in a cockpit and fly a plane. Mm-hmm. And that outlook was very new, and it hadn't been really accepted in general. But we also have to remember that if it wasn't for the men in her life, she wouldn't have been able either to achieve what she had. And she always gave credit, like, to her husband, whom she met when she was being interviewed for this first flight, which was as a passenger across the Atlantic. And keep in mind, 1928, it was a passenger. No woman had even been in a plane across the Atlantic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Roberta, 1928, it just seems like it just so long away. And even like something like you said, like 1999 when I was 3, that seems like an eternity away. But when you designed this play, is this more of like a historically accurate play, or
Yes.
is there like your own interpretation?
No,
Like, how did you go about the research?
No. Okay. I am a historian. I was a history major. Facts, facts, facts. I'm very meticulous about that. The dates, everything, and it's her quotations. It is exactly correct. And at that time, for some of your viewers, there was no internet. All my research was done from original sources at the Amelia Earhart Library here in North Hollywood, California. And that there's a joy in going through books and researching. And I try to get across, as I said, I was a teacher. I tried to get across to my audience, the people, the young people, and when I was teaching, use your sources, read different sources. And the problem with the internet is that once you click on something, you start getting information that's only the side that you're looking at. It's an algorithm, I believe, that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And but with books, if you get different books, and I'm sure you can do that with the internet. You have to look and search for programs and information that has different views, different sides to things, to find the truth. Because truth is very, very hard to find. They always say, who writes history? That's who makes the truth of the historical event. Mm-hmm. Even her birth date is now, and I don't think of her as an ancient historical figure. I mean, I can't believe it's over 100 years. She was born in 1898. But sometimes it says 1897, and you can't actually. It's very hard to find the actual date of her birth, and that's current. I mean, that is relatively current history.
Yeah,
so
only 100 years, yeah, or a little bit over 100.
Talk about passion, you get me going.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful that you actually have taken the time to make it historically accurate, because if you were to put your own interpretation on it, it's great. But I think that's what people want to really know about, especially somebody that's so far away. Like, what does she do, or how does she do this in such a time that it may have not seemed as technologically advanced as we are today? So that is actually my next question too, which is so mind-boggling to me. So I'm excited that I get to ask this to you, the great legend Roberta, to really see what it took to prep in order to create this masterpiece. So how do you embody her essence of somebody that was over 100 years ago into today? What did you have to do to embody her presence?
That's really interesting, because when I do the play, I've had people, it's interact. I do the play, and then I do a Q&A with the audience. And that's the most fun part, because everybody's stimulated by what they've just heard or learned. Or a lot of people that come, they had parents, or some people were actually had seen her. They were children, and the parents took them to of an event where she was. And like somebody said, I was on the shoulders of my father, and I saw her land at a certain field in the United States. And so I really, really I've really had people tell me all the time, they say, you embody her essence. And someone once said to me, I think you're channeling her. But what it comes down to is the play is my baby. It's my little gem. And as an actor, we produce it. I wrote it. I perform it. And I always keep up to date on all the research. So each play winds up being a little different in the sense that the Q&A, I bring knowledge, but I also get knowledge from the audience. They tell me they want to share experiences or knowledge. And a lot of times they'll bring me books, letters, sometimes pictures, postcards that either they have collected or were given to them personally about her or her events. And as an actor, I'm joining the history, which I love. I'm using all my acting skills. And when you, as an actor, once you learn everything you can about, in this case, a real person, but it would be a character also, and her words become, I knew her so well, her words just are part of me. And all that takes you on what I call a ride as an actor. And once you feel like you've let go and you are on that ride, you are that character, you are that person. And it doesn't matter if you're doing a real person or a character that has been created by the writer. You know, that is what it is. And that's the joy of acting, as I find it, as a performer. And once you forget where you are, that you're just immersed in this character, in the place, the environment that this character is set, then you know that you've arrived and you are that person, that character.
Yeah. And you're just having fun, and that's that state of flow that we talk about here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV, when you're just losing track of time and you're just in the present moment. That's how life can be every single day. And we do go into it in and out in different pockets, whether it's our professional life or our personal life. If you're at the gym and you're underneath that bar and you're pushing and you're just so in that moment because you're forced to be. Whatever moment you can find and whatever profession you can do, please find that every single day, because it is possible. And that's when life starts to get fun. And I just want to talk about one more thing before we go to our commercial break that you mentioned, was the channeling portion of it and the channeling aspect. That stuff is real to everybody out there that's watching. You will be visited, or you can be visited, if you're a little bit open to it, by the thing that you're trying to embody. For you, Roberta, it's Amelia Earhart, but for somebody else, if you want to call it God, or you want to receive some wisdom about a certain topic or what to do next, you can do that as well. And everybody has the capability to do that. So don't think it's a scary experience. It can always be something that's very enlightening, and you can learn a little bit more about yourself or what you may need to do next. Now, I can't speak on that because I'm not an expert on it, but I do know that it's available, and I've seen other people do it as well. So we just have to hear a word from our first sponsor, and we'll be right back after a word from our first sponsor.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
So everybody, that was It Takes a Village Housing. We appreciate it. And I just want to share their website really quickly because they have an event coming up as well. And like I said, I'm going to be the MC of the Gaze in Space event tomorrow, but also It Takes a Village Housing. And if you feel the need to donate or to just find out some more information about their wonderful, wonderful organization, this is their website. I believe everybody can see it. Yeah, so this is their website. And I want to show you their flyer that has been created to learn more about this event. So here it is, the second annual Spring Fling. They're going to have so many vendors in the New Jersey area, specifically Camden. But here, let me just zoom in a little bit to show you guys about some more information that's going to be going on there. If it actually wants to zoom in. All right, well, I guess we're not zooming in today, but that's all right. So here it is. It's going to be at the Roosevelt Plaza Park, which is City Hall. And the day is Saturday, April 27th, which is next week from 11 to 3 as well. So thank you. I just wanted to give you guys It Takes a Village Housing, their plug as well. And Roberta, we have to jump right back into your wonderful career and your wonderful story. And I know you just talked about your book. So would you be able to show that onto the camera and explain to everybody what is so special and what the book is all about?
Okay. So this is my, whoops, I never know how to write left. This is my book called Amelia Earhart, Me and Our Friends, Journaling the Journey, the Amelia Earhart self-help book. And this book came about literally, like you were saying, what is it about Amelia Earhart? How do you imbibe her essence? I had researched her for so long. I had done the play for so many years. Her quotations were always in my head. And every time I had a situation or a difficulty or a dilemma or a good thing, whatever it was, a quotation would pop in my head. And I thought, I've got to do something. I've got to put these in a book. And people had asked me to write a book so many times, but I said, oh, there's so many books on Amelia Earhart. I just, you don't need another book. And finally, I did it for me because I needed to put all of this down. All the things I had learned in addition to the play was all this information, all the things I had in my head into a book. It started as a journal. I was just writing for myself, writing day to day. I always have kept journals, and I would put down a quotation, and it helped me if I felt overwhelmed or something. I knew of a quotation that she had said that kind of would calm me or focus me, bring me back into what I needed to think about. And then I started to think, if this is so helpful to me, it may be helpful to others too. And that's why I call it Amelia Earhart, Me and Our Friends, because everybody who reads it is our friends. And in it, people can journal. So in the book, you can journal along with me and Amelia Earhart. And I have what's called Dear Reader pages in the book. And so you can write in it, it's all ready for you to put things in.
Wow. So it's very interactive is what it sounds like.
Yes, it's an interactive book, but it's something that is not it's not historical. It's a combination of little history, my journey as an actor performing Amelia Earhart, and my life, my own life, and what I've dealt with, and how her quotations kind of give me solace. They give me comfort. And I sometimes just sit and read my own book when I need to. I mean, seriously.
That's why it's there, right?
Somebody said they keep it next to their bed so that they can just read it. And it's not like it's something you can just read different parts of it. It's just different journaling portions, but it's also fun. It's fun and interactive. And you mentioned something that really, really resonates with me when you said, remember to have fun. That's a really hard thing to put together when you're going for either your passion or you're dealing with different things or just every day, to try to remember to have fun. Like we're having a great time. We're having fun on this interview on your show, and you always have fun no matter what. And that's what the book. And I always say this is the first adult Amelia Earhart fun book. It really,
yeah. Because when you think about it, everybody, it's been taught to the young people a little bit that are having fun. Roberta, if there's somebody out there that's watching, I have a feeling somebody might be a few people are going to be very interested in this book. Would you be able to share with us what's one of your favorite pages of journaling or questions or scripts that you have in that book? Can you share it with us right now?
So one of my favorite quotations is to I was going to share it really quickly, was, and I follow this. I mean, it's just to want in one's heart to do a thing for its own sake, to enjoy doing it, to concentrate all one's energies upon it. That is not only the surest guarantee of its success, it is also being true to oneself. If there's anything I have learned in life, it is this: if you follow the inner desire of your heart, the incidentals will take care of themselves.
Wow.
And I really agree with that. It's all about, I mean, she lived that, and I think you fought, I feel like I just love that quotation.
Yeah, you know what really sparks my love for that is that not only, number one, do you have to have the awareness to really find what it is that you love to do, but number two, in order to implement that every day, I feel like number one, that can be where the challenge is. But as she says, that's where life really starts to begin. And that's when we can start to really have fun, as we mentioned earlier, in every part of our life. So the fact that she was able to kind of capture that feeling and throw it into your words, and you were able to put that out into the world, we need some more of that in our own lives. So if you're definitely interested in reading the book and getting Roberta's book, please reach out to her. And actually, there's a comment on here. How do we find your book, Roberta?
It's on Amazon.com, like everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could also you could Instagram me, and I can send you an autographed copy also. And I just want to mention, she always said fun is the indispensable part of work. And do you know she was criticized for that in the press? Believe it or not.
What's wrong about that? What did they say?
You're not supposed to have fun when you work, It's supposed to be, serious about this.
Oh God. Well, you can make the point that, in the 1920s, they were going through the Great Depression, and things weren't as bubbly and fun as they are right now. And I'd rather live now than back then, because we are more open to finding love in our own work, and we are open to each other and respecting other people's point of views. And, I just don't think it was as prominent and as open as what it is today. So thank you so much for sharing that as well. And when did this book come out? Can you tell me the year that you released it?
Let's see. Well, I've had 3 different editions. Oh. So the first time I published it was in 2016, but then I've republished it 3 times where I changed it. And during the pandemic, I thought I was planning to re-edit it. And so I thought, well, I was starting to re-edit it just before the pandemic. I thought, oh, well, I better, this thing will probably last about 2 months. So I'll work on this while we're sequestered in the house, and I'll finish it. So in that 2 months, I re-edited the book, put it, this edition is what I'm happy with. I could finally put it to bed.
Yeah. And I would
think that the pandemic would last for 3 years.
Yeah.
I could have written 3 books.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you about the year of 2016 specifically. What is it about that year? If you can go back into your mind and remember where you were in 2016, why did you feel that exact year and that exact time was the perfect time to release your book?
Oh, it was just gnawing at me. I couldn't wait. I just had to get it out, because I said all this. I had worked on the book for 5 years, and I couldn't wait. I just had to publish it. And yet you're scared, because it's literally like you're giving, well, for the ladies out there, but also for gentlemen, it's like you're giving birth, and you're putting it, you've given birth to this book, and now the world's going to see it. And that's a very scary thing. But I just had to get it out. I couldn't wait. It was,
wow.
Yeah, it was emotional and necessary. And then as I said, I've re-edited it 3 times, and now I'm really, really happy with it. It's the way I want, and I'm on to the next book.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that too, because there is another segment of this episode that we had to get to, And as far as your, career as an actress as well, and I know we've had, a few actresses on the show, and you're very well connected. But I do feel like a lot of people on my show are aspiring actors, and actresses. So we're going to talk about that portion of everything. So, and we have to hear a word from our second sponsor. So thank you everybody for being here, Roberta, for your lovely energy, just wonderful insights and wisdoms on your own story and Amelia Earhart's story as well. And to the Positivity Posse, just thank you always so much for tuning in and and just sharing and liking everything, because it wouldn't be possible without all of you as well. So we'll be right back after a word from our second sponsor.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
At Great Success, it's our job to make sure that your child succeeds in school regardless of the subject or grade level. Our tutors are trained professionals who know how to promote learning and encourage results. Whether you are looking for help with SAT, ACT prep, private and group tutoring, K through 3 reading programs for your child, or educational consulting and college counseling, here at Great Success, we can help you find the right answer. Visit greatsuccess.com to learn more about our in-person and online program options. Great Success, where your child's success is our business.
Everybody, that was the second and third sponsor, which is Great Success and also the Power of We. We appreciate both of you. And if you have any, interest, please reach out to them, because if your kids need any tutoring services or the Power of We Symposium, maybe they want to attend in Chicago on October 24th, they'll be able to do that as well. So thank you both for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And now we have to get back to Roberta's amazing, super awesome, wonderful story. So Roberta, now we're going to talk about your amazing career as an actress, because you're very well accomplished. And I love to ask, I want to start out with this because I think it's the most important part of being an actress, but here it is. You let me know if I'm right or wrong. When it comes to really staying resilient, because you probably received a lot of no's in your life, what are some of your greatest tactics or strategies in order to stay resilient while we're facing rejection?
This is really, the question is fascinating, because when you said you received no's and rejection, that kind of put me back, because I never think that way. The first thing I studied for 5 years, and this was after college. I started later than most people. I already had a college degree from UCLA. I had a teaching credential. I married my prom date in the second year of my college education. I had 2 children who were 14 months and 5. And that's when I started my career. And I just want to point out to all your listeners that it's never too late to go after what you want in life, ever. And even people my age now, I know a lot of people who are just starting into the acting profession because it's something that they put on the back burner their whole life, and they waited. And I had all of this behind me, and I figured, you know what, I have to do this now. I'm going to do this. And I decided, I had 2 little kids at home. I said to my husband, I'm going to go out for a bit. I went to a community acting class. I said to the teacher, I have to come late and leave early. I have 2 little kids at home. He said, fine. And that was the beginning of, I was the only married person with children in all my classes. But what I was going to tell you was that in the business of acting class I took for a number of years, they said, you do not, it's never no, it's never a rejection. I mean, it's sort of a brainwashing element, but it's a way of looking at things, because you don't know why somebody is saying no, saying you can't do this show. Because it can be a million different things. It has nothing to do with your talent, nothing to do with anything. You might be the wrong height, the wrong shape. You might sound not like my very first job, Chris commercial, was for a Midwestern corn feed company. Why did I get that job? Well, there was probably a lot of reasons, but on the set, one of the producers said, oh, she sounds from the Midwest. Oh, she sounds just like my sister. I have a natural Midwest accent, which I didn't know I had because I'd never been to the Midwest, but my family was from Chicago. And so I speak with a Chicago accent. So the word no, the word rejection, I bristle because it's never been part of my vocabulary. And it really had to do probably with this business of acting class taught by a man named Wayne DeVork on Sunset Boulevard. The studio was there. I went there for a number of years. And that's how I look at it. Just like for those of you who may be a little nervous when you speak before people, or you've thought about acting, but gee, you're a little worried about audiences. He used to say, no, it's not that you're nervous, you're excited. And you tell yourself those, and you are. That's why you're nervous, because you're excited to be here. I'm so excited to come here today. And it was literally, I had to tell myself that. I said to my husband, oh, I think I'm a little nervous. No, I'm excited. That's why I'm nervous.
Yeah. And you just brought up a great point about that too. And I think the term that you used was brainwashing. But I want to replace that. Like you said, it's not really no rejection. And I don't think it's really brainwashing either. We have these belief systems that we have, been ingrained in us ever since we're, little kids. And when we think of, reprogramming our brain and how we think about certain situations, I love the fact that you did say that you never really saw it as, a rejection or a no or something with a negative connotation. You removed that label. You built up a new belief system to make it a positive one. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why you were able to become so successful and really have such a long career in the field that you love to do, and that you were actually pursuing your dreams as well. So I love that you make that a point to not really have that fear-based mindset, but instead to be something that's more empowering and more positive as well. So thank you for that. And I think everybody needs to really develop that. And I know it might be hard in the very beginning, because we will start to revert back to those old ways of thinking and, oh, what if I'm not good enough, and fear-based, thought processes. But thank you so much for sharing that.
Right. It's like self-talk, all those things, sure, they go through your mind, and you have to talk to yourself and, mentally and really think about it. And, you only have a certain amount of control. I have this chart on my wall, and my husband gave it to me, and it's 2 circles, and they intersect, and where they intersect is the only part that you can control. In other words, there's things you can't control, and there's things you want. And when the part that you want and the part that you can control come together, then that's what you can work with. But there's things you can't control, and so you just do your best. And also, I wanted to tell people out there, whatever the profession is you're interested in, once you study that profession, that's not, I've never looked at it as you love it. That's not the end of it. I study, if I'm not if I'm not working or doing a show, I'm in class. I love it because I love what I do, and I do what I love. And I talk about that in my book. And You have, so I'm happy as an actor, just acting with another person in a little classroom with a good piece of material that we've been given to read, because you love what you do. It's like anybody in a trade, a leather worker. Why is he a leather worker? Because he loves working with the fabric, the texture of it, the creation of it, creating. And he'll do that even if he isn't hired to do it. And if you're lucky enough in your life to be able to do something that you enjoy doing, you're a very fortunate person. We are very fortunate in this country. And those of us who came, and all of us, from beginnings, immigrants, we came here, our parents, our grandparents, we have the opportunity to do things that we want to do. And even if it's hard, like my family, it was a very, very, very small budget. I was raised by my mother and my aunt. They were both divorcees. At a time when divorce was not
accepted.
Good.
Yeah.
It was kind of shame, but that was not the life they chose. But they took lemons and made lemonade out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And did everything to make sure that I'd have a better life. They gave me dance lessons and violin lessons because they saw that I had a talent for that, even though they didn't maybe use that money for themselves that way. But I never felt any sense of negativity, like, oh, we're struggling like that. That was never mentioned. There was this wonderful, I was very, very fortunate, I feel.
Yeah.
And, with that attitude. And I've known people as an adult now that had very, very successful households monetarily and everything, but they didn't put the money into the child or give them what they wanted. And I have friends who are in dance classes with me. I still take my dance classes because that's my other passion. And they are taking dance classes now as an older adult because their parents, it was a frivolous thing, they felt. Why put money into that? Mm-hmm. But the arts, I'm very involved with arts for children because the arts are a major it's a part of learning.
And you just mentioned as well, when it comes to taking and seizing that opportunity, if you have it there, please do everything that you can to really go seize it, because a wasted opportunity, you just never know where that is going to lead you, whether it's a professional sense and achievement and a lifetime filled with great, rewarding glitz and glamour and everything that goes along with that. It can lead you to your significant other, whatever it is. Do not waste a single opportunity. And I know it's easier said than done because we can think about the things that can go wrong. But as Roberta and I want to share with you guys, make sure you start to think about the things that can go right and how you're following your passions and your dreams, and you'll see the great benefits that come with that as well. So, Roberta, we only have a few minutes left. What are some future projects that we can keep our eyes out for you on?
Oh, well, I'm very excited. I was very, very fortunate. I just wanted to add too, let people know when you're grateful to them and acknowledge them. And so I was going to say, I was very, 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 very lucky. I completed a series. It's called Presumed Innocent. We completed it the week of the strike, just before the strike was put into effect. So we were working the whole 6 months prior. It's with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ruth Negga. It's an incredible cast. It's a David E. Kelly show. It's going to be on Apple TV, and it'll be on this summer, as I understand. So yeah, oh my gosh, every day I just would say how grateful I am. And also you just mentioned something that was on the tip of my tongue that I wanted to share, was be open to opportunities. You don't know how those opportunities, where they'll take you, even if it doesn't seem at the time that it fits with you, the path you're going on. Your path is not very straight. It's zigzaggy and a roller coaster, and there's ups and downs. But always be open and congratulate yourself for every little accomplishment, even cleaning a drawer one day. I should have got that drawer clean. But, congratulate yourself, appreciate yourself, and appreciate others, and let them know that, your family, your friends, and just maybe somebody at the market who kindly put your eggs in the right bag instead of just where they could break. Let them know, because it makes their day and it makes the world a better place, a happier place. One thing feeds on another. And yeah, so
Yeah, and it just stems from there.
here, we'd give a high five.
Yeah, here it is, high five. Well, we're not over just yet, because I feel like you're on a roll and you're just spewing out just all this great love and inspiring, words that we need now more than ever. But we always wrap up the show the same exact way, Roberta, and you probably know this because you were telling me before you did your research. So here it is. I'm pretty sure you prepared for this question. If there's somebody out there that's watching right now, they're in their deepest, darkest moments, what advice do you have for them in order to get out of that, state of mind that they're in?
There's always a better day. There's around the corner. You never know what wonderful things can happen or be brought to you. It may not seem like it at the moment, but never give up. Perseverance with joy in your heart. And you'd be surprised how people really, how people really think of you. You'd be very surprised that think of all the assets you have, that you have an opportunity in this world to change the world. You are here right now. You can bring something special. You are all unique and special. And whatever your uniqueness is, then that's something that needs to be shared with the world. But you can really, really just fly and breathe and feel good about yourself. And remember, like they used to say, when you go to sleep at night, it's a new day when you wake up. And if the sun is shining or it's a cloudy day, you see those clouds, but you know that the sun is behind them. So remember that the good that you can put out will come back to you. And I believe that with all my heart. And yeah, even though it seems maybe not good this one day, I'm sure everything will be brighter another day, and it will come back to you.
We love it. We love it. Thank you so much for being here. Those are great words. And I love the analogy that you used about the clouds, or the sun being right behind the clouds. And, how are we supposed to know what love and light is if we don't kind of experience those darkness times as well? So it's all serving us no matter what it is that we're going through at the time, whether it's all, positive or negative. It's all serving us. So it's all positive things that are happening. So thank you so much for sharing that. Jeanette says right here, yes, one thing feeds from another. Yes. Also, she says great advice. So thank you for that. And we really appreciate you being on. Yeah. We appreciate you, Roberta, coming on. So if you wanted to reach out to her, you can reach out to her on Instagram, Roberta.Bassin. And then her other information is also on LinkedIn and IMDb. Roberta, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. This was lovely having you. And have a great, safe weekend. It's my Positivity Posse. Oh, Roberta, just stick around for one more second because I want to talk to you a little bit after the show. But to my Positivity Posse, I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, next week, because soon, next month, I'll actually be in LA. So I got to get all my dates in order. So it's just been wonderful and lovely to share this time with everybody that has tuned in live or on the replay. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Thank you again, Roberta.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.